Hey there, Eli again, coming at you from the fish rooms of Coventry today to show off some of the new saltwater shipments. This past week we got 2 different shipments of saltwater fish in, so we should be nice and freshly stocked. So these tanks here have some of the larger fish. This top tank has Heniochus butterfly, a nice gold spot rabbitfish, and a bicolor foxface, and 3 really nice hi-hat drums. They're quite larger size than the ones that we got in a few weeks back. Bottom tank here still has a good batch of Banggai cardinals that have been here for honestly probably 3 weeks now. A nice red chorus wrasse, a decent sized snowflake moray eel, orchid dottyback, and a decent sized sailfin tang, as well as a dusky wrasse and a new striped dogface puffer. Tank up here has some nice additions as well. There's a decent sized clown triggerfish, probably about 3 inches. A juvenile emperor angel, probably around the same size. This tank also has a porcupine puffer, Valentini puffer, and a hippo tang. Bottom tank down here has a small group of Talbot's damsels, which happen to be one of my favorite damsels. They're not as aggressive as many of the others. It's also got a nice small cleaner wrasse, a bicolor foxface, algae blenny, and a little diamond goby in this as well. This tank up here has some real treats in it, a nice majestic angelfish, something that we haven't had in a really long time. Tank also has a radiant wrasse, which is definitely something that we don't see here very often, as well as this sand tilefish, red firefish, a flame hawk, and some smaller hippo tangs, as well as a royal grama. Still has this nice yellow eye coal tang. I'm shocked to see him still sitting around here. It's also got dragon goby, royal grama, a black and white chromis, these really neat marginated damsels, one that I haven't really seen myself, but these have been here a few weeks as well. It's also got this really bright, colorful wrasse. He's called a paddlefin wrasse. Interesting wrasse that you don't see very often. Probably better for a fish only or a more aggressive reef tank, but a really cool fish nonetheless. Tank also still has a scooter blenny or 2 and a royal grama. Tank up here has one of the brightest juvenile queen angelfish that I have ever seen. It's got a nice dogface puffer, cleaner wrasse, rusty angel that's been here for a couple weeks now. This twin spot chorus wrasse has also been here for a few weeks as well. And this pyramid butterfly that's probably been here about a month. These guys are pretty cool. It's one of the only butterflies that is considered reef safe. So it's one of the best options for a butterfly fish if you wanted to add one to your reef tank. This tank down bottom's got some really nice small chalk bass, which are a fun kind of shoaling fish that are a pretty peaceful addition to add to just about any reef tank. There's also a good size grouping of these red scooter blennies that have been here a couple weeks as well. Tank also has a few small white belly yellow chorus wrasse, a little Hector's goby, a really cute peacock puffer, and a rabbitfish that's been here quite a while, in addition to a coral beauty angelfish and another small royal grama. Coupang damselfish that have been here a few weeks as well, but there's only probably 2 or 3 of them left. This next tank has a really decent sized copper band butterfly. This guy has not eaten yet, but he just hit the tanks yesterday and he is showing interest in food. Just hasn't actually eaten yet that we've seen. Tank also has a multicolor angel that's been in here for a little while, about 7 or 8 lyre-tail anthias. These are all females, so if you wanted to add a small shoal to your tank, you have a good chance of ending up with a good grouping, male and a female, if you start with all these females. There's also a small one-spot foxface in this tank, in addition to a blue jaw trigger female that's been here for a few weeks as well. Down bottom, we have a small Valentini puffer, a nice sized male target mandarin that's been here a while, bright yellow candy hogfish that's been here at least 2 or 3 weeks, one of the largest little pygmy angels that I've ever seen myself, and a good group of Springer's damsels that's been here quite a while. That bicolor angel is quite nice as well. He has also been here probably 3 weeks. Next tank has a nice sized porcupine puffer, another peacock puffer, smaller sailfin tang, swallowtail angelfish, and a nice long nosed butterfly. In addition, there is a pair of goldhead sleeper gobies in this tank, another flame hawkfish, good size yellow belly dogface puffer in here, and a marine beta that's been here for a few weeks as well, but is being a little bit shy at the moment. This tank down bottom's got a really good sized shoal of blue-green chromis and blue reef chromis, which are super cool, something you don't see as often. It's also got this nice big black blenny. This is a tribal blenny here, a cool algae-eating comb-tooth blenny that you don't see as often, but does a decent job helping clean up algae. There's also a nice small leopard wrasse that was already eating frozen food. Another coral beauty angelfish and a long-nosed hawkfish. This tank up here also has a pair of these goldhead sleeper gobies, which is super cool sand sifting addition to a good sized reef tank. Still has a couple rabbitfish in it, some 2 bars, and this large Scopus tang. There's also another porcupine puffer in this tank. And then the 2 groupers, we've got this cherry grouper that's been here a couple weeks and the clown grouper that's been here probably a month now. This tank also has a smaller Volatine's lionfish that looks really nice. This tank down bottom has a really good sized shoal of pajama cardinals. Most of these have been here at least 2 weeks, some even more. If you wanted to add a small shoal to your reef tank, a really peaceful, interesting addition. There's also a tail spot blenny, an algae blenny, a beautiful Tamora wrasse that's been here a little while now. There's also an Aurora shrimp goby, which is a pretty cool, interesting shrimp goby you don't see as often, and a beautiful white-tail bristletooth tang, one of the higher-end bristletooths to add to your collection. Usually a decently peaceful tang and a very good algae grazer as well. This tank also has another coral beauty angelfish if that's something that you were looking for. So that about wrapped it up for the fish room, but our invert section is honestly the most stocked it's been in quite some time. We finally got some peppermint shrimp in. This is something that's been hard for us to get in, and honestly they're in very short number, so if this is something you've been looking for, I would come up pretty quick. This tank's also got some nearite snails in it for algae eaters. It's got a nice pair of harlequin shrimp if you run into an astrorina problem. And there is a fighting conch as well as a regular tiger sand sifter in this tank, and some good sized emerald crabs. Up top has some starfish in it, some chocolate chips, and some red knobby stars. In addition, that tank also has a fighting conch if you're in need of a sand sifter, and a pistol shrimp, and should have some Necerius snails as well. This next tank has some really cool feather duster worms. The tank also has some nice sized emerald crabs in it as well, and some Astrea snails. This one does have a fighting conch as well, and still has a Japanese pistol shrimp that's been here a couple weeks. Up top here we have both Phromia and red Linkia stars, which are a pretty cool addition to the reef tank. I've got a small assortment of pencil urchins that are a little bit smaller than the last time we got these in. There's a good handful of bumblebee snails, which are kind of a carnivorous snail that might help take care of some vermitid snails in your tank, so they make a nice addition if you're running into those. We've also got a good assortment of Trochus snails in the shop now, as well as these extra large Necerius snails if you wanted to add some of those to your tank. These are definitely a good size. Check out these beautiful ribbon eels. We've got both a black ribbon and a blue ribbon eel. These are definitely an expert only fish, as they are difficult to keep in the tanks. They need a tank with a very tight fitting lid, and they are not always the easiest to get to feed in captivity, but they are just a gorgeous fish. This does appear to be a male and a female, judging by their coloration. They're just a really cool fish to check out, so come give these guys a look. And if you're adventurous enough to give them a try, they would be a very rewarding pet. This tank does also have some more invertebrates as well, mostly Astrea snails, sand sifting starfish, and we've still got a purple reef lobster in here and a fighting conch as well. Last but not least, this top tank has an arrow crab that's been here a few weeks now, a bunch of really nice large fire cleaner shrimp, probably the largest ones we've had in for quite some time. And this tank also has some turbo snails that are about the same size as the ones we got in a few weeks ago, so not too big and not too small, and a small assortment of Trochus snails and scarlet leg hermit crabs if you're running into some hair algae issues. So thank you guys for tuning in to check out all the brand new saltwater critters that we got in this week. Please come give us a look if any of this stuff is standing out to you. And just a quick reminder, we still do have packed coral tables from last week. There's still a lot of really nice pieces in these tables to pick through as well, and keep on reefing.